Google rewards quality with ranking. So if you've got the choice between writing loads of posts, which are maybe shorter and less detailed and a bit lower quality, versus some really detailed but fewer posts, we go for the fewer, much more detailed posts every time. Most businesses' blogs are a wasteland of irrelevant, self-congratulatory news that nobody actually reads. And yes, that's news in massive Gary V inverted commas, because nobody really cares about the latest awards that your company's won or the new office that you've opened. So why do these businesses continue to blog? Well, because somebody once told them to, and now every 3 months they grudgingly pump out a new 200-word piece of corporate lingo dross into page 250,000 of Google. Stop. It doesn't have to be like this. Whatever business you're in, no matter how boring you think you are, your blog can actually be the main source of traffic to your website. Don't believe me? Let me see if I can out-boring you with some examples. Divorce solicitors, medical animation companies, health and safety training courses, warehouse racking safety inspectors. What do they all have in common? Well, firstly, none of them are exactly blogging friendly, sexy topics, are they? Somehow don't think we're going to get that many comments asking for the warehouse racking safety URL because it sounds like a real hoot. Secondly, we've turned all of their blogs into traffic gold mines that generate them actual business. So it's really not about how sexy your business is, but it's just about how you use your blog. So here are our 5 hacks for turning your blog from tumbleweed to traffic. Hack 1 is to write stuff that people actually care about. Duh. How long is long enough? Well, one thing that you can do is go to answerthepublic.com and put in the areas that you specialize in. This tool will show you all of the questions that people are asking about those areas, and then you can write blog posts about these questions. So for example, let's say that you're an accountant serving self-employed people. You might want to write a blog post about self-employed national insurance contributions. Tip 2 is to write the right length, right? Let's do an example. Let's take what are self-employed national insurance contributions. Let's think about the sub-questions that people would have underneath that topic. For example, how much should I pay in self-employed national insurance contributions? Who do I pay self-employed national insurance contributions to? When do I pay them? And so on. What you're going to come up with is a whole bunch of sub-questions that people will have about that main topic. Now all you need to do is answer each of these different sub-questions in as much detail as you need to make your blog post. So don't be afraid to write 2,000 words if that's what it takes to answer this topic and to write a really useful guide. So let the topic and your expertise and knowledge of how much information your customers actually need be the guide as to how long your blog post should be, rather than some arbitrary number. Tip 3, use headlines and subheadlines effectively. Here's where people go wrong. Your blog title should be the question that people are asking, which you're answering in your post. This is not the time to get fancy. We don't need puns, we don't need clever hooks. You are not the Daily Mail, you are not BuzzFeed. They already have traffic. They're trying to pull traffic from social media or from elsewhere on their website and get them to stick on the site longer. That's not what you're doing. You're targeting the questions that people are asking on Google, and you want to get these posts ranking. And the best way to do that is to use the question that people are asking as your blog headline. Then your subheadlines should be the sub-questions that you're answering in your blog post. We're basically trying to help people find the part of the post that's most interesting and relevant to them. Be descriptive and don't be afraid to use those sub-questions as your subheadline. Now, tip 4 is about making sure that your traffic doesn't just come to your blog and leave. We want to keep them on your website, and ideally we want to get them through to your product and service pages so that they have a chance of becoming a customer for you. So what you're going to want to do is include links to your service pages or to your products in your blog posts. Quite often we'll see a website that has a lot of blog traffic, but it's got a really high bounce rate because people are just coming onto the blog post, they're getting the answer to their question, and then they're leaving to go elsewhere to shop because that blog post hasn't done a good enough job of funneling people deeper into the site. What you don't want is just a whole bunch of browsers coming to your website. You really want to get them coming into the site and then drag them further in so that they can actually buy from you. So where relevant, include links to your product and service pages throughout your blog post. You might also want to make sure that you've got some kind of call to action around your post. For example, if you offer a free consultation or some kind of free next step, you want to make sure that that's mentioned in the sidebar of your blog post so that when someone comes on to get the answer that they need, they can also see the next step right there as well. So on this website, they've put together this great tool. It's a simple interest calculator, so you can put in your numbers here and get some useful info out. But the trouble is the call to action is really soft at the bottom. It doesn't really do that much to get you into their sales funnel, and it certainly doesn't try to get you back into the rest of the website. So building this out with a bit more content and having a much more compelling call to action will make a big difference to how effective this is as a business generator for this company. You can see this website has spent the money to build a calculator. This is a fantastic tool and it's ranking nicely on Google. But the trouble is they're just paying to host the calculator. There's actually no attempt to turn this traffic into qualified business for them. So it's pretty pointless. It's going to have a really high bounce rate in Google Analytics because people are just going to be coming onto this, using the calculator and then leaving again. What they really need to do is they need to have a logical next step that people can take once they've used the calculator. That's going to make it a much more useful business asset for them and not just something that gets ranking, gives people information and then they leave. Tip 5 is to go for post quality over quantity. There's an 80-20 rule with blogs. Whatever size site, however long it's been going, we tend to find that there are a small handful of blog posts which are generating the majority of the traffic to that site's blog, and it's usually the best quality one. Google rewards quality with ranking. So if you've got the choice between writing loads of posts which are maybe shorter and less detailed and a bit lower quality versus some really detailed but fewer posts, we go for the fewer, much more detailed posts every time. Best case scenario is that you have a post which is ranking that solves your audience's pain point when they're thinking about buying from you. So for example, on the Exposure Ninja site, we've got a blog post all about how to fix your bounce rate. Now, when you've got a website which has a high bounce rate, it's usually because either the traffic isn't qualified that's coming to the site or there's something fundamentally wrong with the website. So for Exposure Ninja, our business, that's a really good potential client because they're in this pain point where they've got this website that isn't really working. So the fact that that blog post ranks really nicely for us is great because it means that that's a really qualified potential customer. So that's where you want to get to. Now, those blog posts that are really detailed, they do take time. That's why you're not going to be able to crank out one of those every day unless you've got a big content team on your side. But you don't need to do one every day because it's going to be that small handful of posts that generates you loads of traffic over years sometimes. So it's worth putting in the time and getting them right rather than just getting them out there. Take your time, make it ninja. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also check out the Exposure Ninja Digital Marketing Podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. Until next video, see you soon.